the Ford Mustang. Born in Michigan, USA, launched at the New York World's Fair in 1969, and the first car awarded the Tiffany Award for Excellence in American Design. It quickly became ubiquitous. It was on posters, in magazines, on television, in the movies, and most importantly, on the roads. 22,000 were sold in one day. 418,000 were sold in a year. Within 2, sales surpassed 1 million. The Mustang was a sensation, sold exclusively in the United States.
And that was the problem. In 1965, Ford of Britain and Ford Germany both recognised the enormous success of the Mustang, so wanted to replicate it. They noticed an untapped opportunity within the European car market that they wanted to exploit, so they collaborated. They wanted to build a car that was practical like a saloon and sporty like a coupe. So, starting with a Cortina as a foundation, they dressed it up as, well, a smaller Mustang, tailored for European roads. Enter the Capri. Once the design was nailed down, thoughts turned to the car's heart, the engine. Now, between Ford of Britain and Ford Germany, when the car released in 1969, it released with 7 engine options, with 5 more to come before the end of even the first generation in 1974. There truly was an engine for everyone, from a polite 1.3 litre inline-4 all the way up to a more boisterous 3.1 litre V6 in the RS 3100. Or is it RS 3100? I mean, we're British, surely it's RS 3100. Let me know what you think. This particular Capri used to be powered by a rather gutless 1.6 litre Pinto. However, since then, the owners replaced it with an angrier 2.1 litre Pinto, which puts out 185 brake horsepower. It has the capacity for 230, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. 185 is the perfect number to make this car more enjoyable on the road and more livable. Back in the 60s, Ford of Britain and Ford Germany both knew they had to pull out all the stops if they were to make the Capri a sales success. They had the car, now they just needed to market it properly. So, what was the plan?
Go to Brussels, launch the car, tell the people it's the car you always promised yourself. Print some posters for the Playboys, write some ads for the Family Man, film some commercials, pop them on the telly, tell the Europeans it's a bit of Americana, but tell the Americans it's a sexy European. Go to the pub, grab a nice cold pint, and wait for all the punters to pour in.
The Capri was on sale for 17 years, spanning 3 generations, with each one being more refined than the last. Between the Mark I and the Mark II was the revised styling. Gone was the fastback design of the Mark I, and instead replaced with the hatchback design of the Mark II and eventually Mark III. Ford also introduced a plethora of goodies for the Mark II and Mark III just to make them, well, a bit more livable, like power steering and an auto gearbox. The changes in the Mark III were more akin to a facelift as a result of waning sales in the late 70s. The changes included more aerodynamic body panels and some very new, very shiny quad headlights. Despite only minor changes, the Mark III retains its place as the most iconic generation of Capri. Perhaps in no small part thanks to the very popular and very often stolen 2.8 injection. By now you'll have no doubt noticed that this Capri looks a little bit unusual, and that's because it's a mishmash of iconic and cool Ford components. Let me show you what I mean. At the front spoiler is borrowed from the Zakspeed Capri. It looks a lot meaner. At the back, and perhaps most noticeably, is this turbo wing straight out of the RS catalogue. Surprisingly rubbery. Down here we've got some golden turbo fan wheels. Although not Ford parts, they were made popular on race cars of the 70s and 80s. Between the wheels is the iconic S stripe found on the Capri S models. Inside, you'll notice this beautiful full leather interior from the Brooklyn's 280. Underneath, not that you can see it, but I can certainly feel it, there's a new limited slip differential, just like the top spec Capris of the day. I'm so lucky to be driving a car like this, and I do really think it's incredibly awesome. I know there are some purists out there who probably disagree with me and think this thing is absolutely atrocious and they prefer a stock one. But each to their own, I guess. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. Another great thing is the familiarity people have with this car, particularly here in the UK. For the past couple of days now, I've had people stop in the streets, they've turned their heads to take a look. They've snapped some photos, shot some videos. I've even had a few cheers, and I'm convinced those cheers weren't for me. What's more is so many people have interesting stories to tell about the Capri, whether it's loading the boot with concrete bags to stop it from oversteering or just simply passionate restoration projects. There's so much love for this car. Cows truly are the unsung heroes of comfort. Shall we have a moment's silence? I feel like we should have a moment's silence.